Alright, welcome back to another ranked multiplayer match. This is going to be a replay. I had forgot to hit record on this match, so I was talking to myself. So we're playing as Khorne here. Got a Herald of Khorne as our Lord, and Marauders with dual weapons. I put experience on these guys so they could last a little bit longer in melee combat. Chaos Warriors with halberds, Brutes of the Hound, and Hellforged Hosts. Our opponent is the Vampire Counts, and they're coming in with Mannfred von Carstein as their lord. Got double White King, a Corpse Cart, 2 Cairn Wraiths, Skeleton Spears, Zombies, Skeleton Warriors, so pretty standard, I would say, overall. I don't know how normal it is to bring Cairn Wraiths, but... And I will say that I brought... Let's slow this down because I forget what goes on here, but I brought the dual weapon variant because, of course, the Vampire cannot shoot. They don't have like archers and stuff. You can see I'm bringing my Regiments of Renown troops into the woods just in case this guy's got a breath attack or something like that coming. So I brought them, like I said, because they're going to be better against the infantry. They'll be able to cut through zombies and skeletons and whatnot. But I also added experience to them because I wanted them to have a little bit more... Actually, I could have sworn they got more melee defense when I was leveling them up in the unit selection screen, or the lobby, or whatever you call it, but looks like that might not be the case. I could have sworn these guys have only 17 melee defense. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but either way, Bloodthirster coming on. So I kept this guy in my back pocket because I wanted to have him as a counter for any type of large flying unit that they had. So, you know, just so happened that he brought Mannfred on. I believe this is a Terrorgeist. Is it a Terrorgeist or like a Blood Dragon or whatever it is? Now he's got reinforcements coming for his Air Force. He's got Vargeist on the way. So chasing after Mannfred with the Bloodthirster, and turning back around once I see the Vargeist coming. Didn't want him to go too far in by himself. We've got some, let's see, Marauder Horsemen coming in, reinforcements. Nobody over on point 3 yet. Right now I'm basically just trying to get a good setup over here and take good engagements. Another thing I forgot to mention, the Hellforged Hosts, the Exalted Bloodletters, I brought them because I wanted to have some kind of anti-infantry in case they brought ethereal units. These guys do magic damage, and luckily for me, he did bring 2 squads of Cairn Wraiths, so I'm going to be looking to get on them with him. So Bloodthirster is going to be going in, looking to get on top of these Vargeist because they're jumping on top of the Marauders. That's going to be a good pick for them. Looking to get the Halberds on top of the Vargeist, but he's starting to force path through, try to get them out of there. Spirit Leash going down on the Bloodthirster. My Lord is still sitting in the back. He is on foot. He is a foot herald, so I got to be careful with him, especially against a large lord like this. They got Vargeist on the field. So Bloodthirster going in, and now there's going to be a big aerial combat over here. They got some bats coming around. So Marauder Horsemen were able to capture that point down there. Now they're going to come up and reinforce. And hopefully I can get them over here to get some shots off on Mannfred and the Vargeist, because the Bloodthirster is going to need some help over here. He's pretty strong, pretty powerful against other large units, but unfortunately he's getting jumped by Vargeist, and when Mannfred gets in the mix, then he's kind of just getting circle beaten by them. So the Marauders with dual weapons are doing pretty well in the front line. Chaos Warriors with halberds probably don't want to be in this situation because they're just fighting zombies, Skeleton Warriors, and Cairn Wraiths, so they're honestly getting punished by what's there. Zombie Summon coming down on the Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. I'm going to try to jump on top of them and cleave them away with the Marauders with dual weapons. I was trying to not just throw everybody in at one time. I was trying to keep some guys in the backfield and see how I wanted to move my troops to react to what they're doing. Hellforged Host coming for a flank. These guys coming in to replace the troops that are getting chased off. And you can see the throwing axes are helping out a little bit. The Bloodthirster's not doing great, but he's got 2 experience, so he's done pretty good. Mannfred took quite a bit of damage between fighting the Bloodthirster and getting the throwing axes tossed at him. So honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about the initial engagement. I'm a little bit ahead Vampire counts do have healing though, so that's one thing that you gotta account for when you see the damage values. Another zombie summon coming down to intercept the Marauders, Marauder Horsemen. The one thing that I noticed with the Fellbats jumping the Marauder Horsemen and whatnot was that they have anti-infantry on their weapon strength, so they're able to fight off little guys like this that are trying to trap them up a little bit better. Vargeist going down, the Bloodthirster might, I guess he's not going to get taken out by the Spirit Leech, but you can see he's really struggling there. Less than 1,000 health. I forget what his total is, 7,700. So he's crumbling, and unfortunately he's going to be getting off the field there before he can do much more against Mannfred. But he served his purpose. He did a lot of damage to Mannfred. He fought off the Vargeist, and yeah, that's what I wanted from him. So Bloodletters on the way. I will say I brought in a decent amount of Bloodletters and the Hellforge Host because I felt pretty safe with them. Usually I'm not going to bring them as Khorne, which has been one of the main factions I've been playing. Big Sword of Khorne coming down there, just mashed a couple of Graveguard and Air Race and whatnot. I usually don't bring them because they can get shot down so easily, but in a situation like this, there's no range threat to them. So I just got to make sure that they're supported against large units like Crypt Horrors and things like that. My Lord basically just trying to fight against high value infantry and staying away from Mannfred. You can see Mannfred's going to be taking some throwing axes, and really that's what I was looking to do with the Marauder Horsemen, is use them as a counter to any type of large presence that the enemy has. And we're going to try to get the Chaos Warriors with halberds over here on these Crypt Horrors. The skeletons and zombies and whatnot are getting dealt away with pretty quickly, and right now we've got a big value lead. So the thing is, we got to hold our ground here. There's more Crypt Horrors on the way. They got the Claw of Nagash, which is the Mortis engine that has, what is the ability? So wow, that's actually pretty gnarly. Minus 30% speed of all units, 16 to 32 damage per second. So him getting in this blob, draining the Chaos Warriors, the Brutes of the Hound, Bloodletters, my Lord, the Flesh Hounds, these infantry over here. If he can protect this thing, then that's going to be really good for him. So we got Flesh Hounds coming on over here. These Flesh Hounds were basically my backup option for taking down large targets. I think I only had 2 squads of the Marauders with throwing axes. I wasn't really sure what his build was going to look like, so yeah, I actually have not used Flesh Hounds that much when I've played as Khorne so far, but they seem to be pretty good because of their mass at dealing with large targets. Even though they don't have anti-large or anything like that, it seems to possibly be a niche for them. So on the blob fight, I am doing my best to keep my Herald away from Mannfred. So that's the main thing I was worried about. Got a Blood Shrine over here. What is the buff that it gives? So 8 melee attack, 4 leadership. It's pretty good. Actually did not realize that this thing has some regen. I guess as long as it's in melee combat. Marauders trying to screen off the Skeleton Spearmen over here. Hellforge Host is going back into the woods, and we're going to see if they can intercept any more infantry on the way. Mannfred looks like he's doing some cycle charging, so lift off. Here he comes down, hitting the Herald, and there you go. So that's exactly what I was talking about, why I was trying to keep my Lord away from him. Because you can see from that charge animation, he did a ton of damage to the Herald, and pretty nasty stuff. Bats over here chasing off some of the horsemen. I wonder why these guys are crumbling. That's a little bizarre, but they chased off the Marauder horsemen, and right now he's got skeleton spears and zombies back here. Looks like I've got control at this point. I'm not sure if he was ever able to capture that. And Dire Pack on the way, skeleton spears, zombies, more skeleton spears. So he's looking to get some more mass over here. And my infantry corps is basically done for. So I still have the Hellforge Host. They're doing decent. Let's see. So I guess, yeah, they have more than 40 kills. So they've got the Hungering Blade. So they're just going to be really dealing damage. One squad of Marauders with dual weapons. Some Bloodletters over here, but everything else is Flesh Hounds, my Lord, and the Blood Shrine. So unfortunately, I don't have like an infantry block for this thing to be buffing up. And you can see he's still doing some cycle charging. So the Herald is taking a beating. Mannfred is still pretty weak himself, but I think he might have some regeneration in him. Looks like that is the case. So let's see what we got going on here. Minotaurs with great weapons on the way. And that was going to be another one of my anti-large responses with some mass. I wanted to get them in over here because of the Mortis engine mostly. Mannfred as well, but mostly I was trying to figure out a way to take this thing down because I was worried that over the course of the match this thing was going to drain down everybody that I'm fighting on point 2 with, and it was going to become a big problem for me. So got Marauders with dual weapons over here holding on point 3 just in case he decides to send in something that way. Dire Pack, where are they? Yeah, so the Dire Pack charged in. Looks like they were trying to get on the Blood Shrine. And Mannfred is running, but he is crumbling. He got chased down by the Minotaurs, and so they served their purpose there. My Lord is doing okay. He's got 1,500 health about, but got to be careful with him still. The Minotaurs with great weapons are going to recharge and get over top on the Mortis engine. And luckily these Marauders are actually holding pretty well against the Skeleton Spears. They were already worn down a pretty good bit, but they're still doing their thing. And we got another White King on the way coming in reinforcements. We still have a pretty healthy lead on gold value, but really I'm just trying to get capture weight on a point 2 and make sure I do not lose that. So we have some Chaos Warriors with halberds coming in reinforcement, but my opponent conceded. I guess he figured he didn't have the amount of supplies he needed and the troops to take this back over. So anyways, well played to my opponent. It was a fun match. Take a quick look at the damage values and whatnot. So the Herald got 1,300. That's decent, especially since we brought him on foot. Hellforce Host, man, these guys were... I feel like this is one of the limited times that you're going to see a unit like this really excel. There's not too many matchups where they're going to be able to have free roam of fighting infantry and not get smashed by like blasting charges or arrow fire or something like that. Brutes of the Hound did all right. Halberds did all right. They cost 950. The Marauders with dual weapons didn't do that great considering the experience I brought on them, but they held out. And you know, usually frontline troops are not going to be accruing a lot of value for you. Bloodthirster. So this guy cost I think 2,000, so 2,700. He did well. Minotaurs did really well. They only got to really fight at the end, so they could have done more. Blood Shrine, nothing crazy, although you wouldn't expect that. You wouldn't expect too much value on a unit like this. Bloodletters did okay. Fleshhounds did really good. Yeah, the Fleshhounds and the Marauder Horsemen, I think, were pretty clutch for me. And for my opponent, Mannfred, wow, he got way more value than I would have thought. 2,300. That's probably, it might be less than what he cost with him being on the Terrorgeist or whatever that mount was, but still decent. Cairn Race, not so much. White Kings, I don't know what abilities and equipment he brought on them, so I'm not sure how much they were. You're not going to expect much on the Skeletons and Zombies. Blood Knights didn't get on the field. Dire Pack did not great. Mortis Engine, see, this is why I was worried about this thing. You see how much damage it dealt. I don't know how much it costs. I don't think I've ever used this unit before. Vargeist did okay. Crypt Horrors did not get too much done. This squad of Graveguard got smashed. I wonder if he would have been better off bringing more Graveguard with great weapons, because these guys have the armor piercing, and they also don't need the shielded variant against Khorne because of basically our only range unit being the Marauder Horsemen. So anyways, pretty fun matchup. I figured the fire damage and whatnot from Khorne's roster would deal well against zombies and whatnot. Actually, I'm not 100% sure it does extra damage, but I think they do because these guys have regeneration. A lot of these undead type units do. So either way, well played to my opponent. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.